The next point that we'll be talking about is the assumption of non-satiety, or in other words, we can call it the assumption of rationality. The assumption of non-satiety states that a consumer always prefers more of a commodity to less of a commodity. So if I consume more of good X, I will always prefer that case. You see, if I consume this amount of good X with this amount of good Y, I am at an indifference curve labeled IC1. But if I increase my consumption of good X such that I arrive at the higher indifference curve labeled IC2, I'll automatically get more of utility. So as I keep on increasing the amount of good X or even good Y, you can choose whichever good, increasing the amount of consumption of any of the goods, or in fact, even both of the goods, will always give me higher utility. So that is what I mean by the fact that a consumer always prefers more of a commodity to less of a commodity. He'll always, if he is given two separate bundles where he is, say, both of the two bundles have an equal amount of good X, and on the other hand, one bundle has more of good Y compared to the other, then he'll always choose that bundle which gives him more of a commodity as compared to less of a commodity. So needless to say, the further the level curve from the origin, higher the utility expressed by the indifference curve. So as I move to the northeast direction, the difference or the distance between the indifference curve, the respective indifference curve and origin increases. So as I keep on moving further and further away in this direction, the utility derived or the utility denoted by that indifference curve increases in magnitude. So the utility derived when I'm on the indifference curve IC1 is less than the utility derived when I'm on the indifference curve IC2, and which is again less than the utility derived when I'm on the IC curve IC3. So that's a very important note that we always need to remember. The fact that most of the times, at least when we are considering two goods which are, we'll call them good for the timing as in not bad, so they are good commodities. So we'll always assume that if we have two good commodities, then in this direction, the higher the indifference curve is, the more utility or the higher utility it denotes. So that's a very important point. Another point is individuals try to attain the highest possible indifference curve. So let's say you're a rational person and you always would want to maximize your satisfaction. You would want to get the highest that you can given any situation. You would want to get the highest marks. You would want to get the highest satisfaction. You would want to get compliments from others. You would essentially want the highest possible utility that you can get. Because as I had defined before, utility is the want satisfying power of an individual. So you would want your wants to get satisfied. You would need your wants to get satisfied, or you would want your needs to get satisfied, any way you put it. So obviously every individual will try to maximize the utility. Now if an individual can map out his indifference curves, not being gender biased, mapping out his or her indifference curves, then he'll always try to attain that utility curve which gives his or her highest amount of satisfaction. So you always try to attain the highest possible indifference curve, which in other words denotes the highest possible utility that you can get. So the next point that we'll be talking about is the assumption of consistency. Now, when we talk about the assumption of consistency, we basically mean that the consumer is expected to behave consistently. So let's take some cases. So the case one, under same conditions, consumer chooses, let's say the consumer has two commodity bundles, A and B. And in case one, so in one situation, we have a situation where the consumer is choosing A over B. But under the same conditions, let's say in some other case, so let's say at a particular condition, in one day, the consumer is choosing A over B. But on another day, the consumer is choosing B over A. So it's like saying one day you want chocolate over coffee and the next day you want coffee over chocolate. So that's kind of absurd. So as I was saying, it's not exactly a rational behavior, to be precise. At least in economics terms, that's not what we call a rational behavior. So what you always need to keep in mind is when you're, let's in another situation. So yeah, that is what I was saying. So when the consumer is choosing A over B in one situation and the consumer is choosing B over A in another situation, that is what essentially we mean by inconsistent behavior in economics. So let's say that the example that I was talking about, on one day you prefer coffee over chocolate, but the very next day you're preferring, let's say, chocolate over coffee. So your friend will try to understand which one you prefer over the other. So that's difficult. It essentially means that you're not consistent in your decisions. You need to be consistent in your decisions per se, by the fact that you always need to be sure which commodity bundle or which commodities or which goods you prefer compared to the other goods that you're given choice of. So that's a very important assumption of indifference curves. Now, as I mentioned, in this case, I am elucidating the inconsistent behavior of the said consumer. But let's take another case where under the same conditions, the consumer always chooses A over B. In that case, the consumer will be said to be a consistent consumer. So he exhibits consistent behavior. So that is the difference between a consistent behavior and an inconsistent behavior. When you're talking about consistent behavior, you're essentially always at a particular preference pattern. So your preference pattern does not change, at least under the same conditions. So you will get to know in future situations that given consistent behavior, there is something called a weak axiom of revealed preferences and strong axiom of revealed preferences. There's basically another approach to this entire concept of utility, which is called the revealed preference approach. And what you'll find out is essentially assuming that the consumer is consistent in his or her behavior. If we see that the consumer is choosing one condition, or the consumer is choosing one bundle over the other, and in some separate situation, the consumer is choosing the reverse alternative, then we assume that the conditions have been changed. So that's actually a very important aspect of the axiom or the approach of revealed preferences. And that approach is based on this assumption of consistency, the fact that a consumer is always consistent in his or her behavior. He does not choose, as I mentioned before, he does not choose A over B in one situation and the next day he chooses B over A. So he does not exhibit inconsistent behavior, rather he exhibits a very particular consistent behavior.